G'day, we're back, Beach City Life, and I am here with Wyatt Roy. Welcome, Wyatt.
G'day, mate. Thanks for having me here. It's great to be here. It's very exciting seeing what's going on.
It really is, isn't it? And have you just come back from a little bit of a holiday?
I have. I've had a bit of a sabbatical post-politics, which was really needed. I think the longest holiday I had before that was 2 weeks, so took a few months off and went, some people have called it my gap year, which I don't like calling it that, but for argument's sake, let's call it that. And went through the Middle East, through Europe, through South America and the US, and just enjoyed life.
Half your luck.
Yeah, lucky me. So all I had to do was lose an election to have a holiday, so it was pretty good.
So you were the Minister for Innovation?
That's right, in the Turnbull government. So it was an amazing experience. I think we made some really big changes that helped set up our country for the future. But now
This is a no politics zone.
I know, I'm very careful about this, but I am super proud of what we did, and I'm loving life in the private sector now and have a bit more liberty to enjoy life.
Yeah, cool. So what are you doing? What are you doing now?
So I'm heading up the Australia arm of a global artificial intelligence company called Affinity. It is honestly one of the most remarkable companies I've ever seen. I am hugely biased, but it's sort of the third multi-billion-dollar endeavour of an incredible founder called Zia, who initially founded Invisalign, the replacement for 3D printed replacement for braces.
Yeah.
Now in the artificial intelligence, big data world, basically we do some incredible stuff with big data that helps drive about a 6% increase in revenues for our clients, which are the largest banks, telcos, insurance companies across the world. So a lot of fun and loving the private sector.
Awesome. So what's the biggest difference between public and private that you're loving?
I think one is just having a little bit more of your own time. To wake up in the morning, and I'm very busy now. I was incredibly busy before, but you're just not worried about your name in the newspaper or what's going to happen the day in the news cycle or how you're going to respond to that, and to not have to worry about that and just focus on what is a pretty focused sort of area of attention. It's as I said, it's very liberating. It's a lot of fun. The remuneration's a little bit better than politics, so life is pretty good.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, okay, we've got Susie popping in. Susie's going to squeeze it.
I heard that you've been travelling so much.
Yes.
Susie, not in the shop.
Come in.
And that you have, been able to be in the corporate world and the startup world, and literally you're now in the startup world.
Yeah.
How come there's such a big gap between the two, right? And the government as well. Like, there's this funny gap where everyone's talking over each other, but I feel like there's this missing link where we just need to help each other out.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And I think sometimes you're right, there is this huge cultural difference between the public sector and the private sector. But as the Minister for Innovation, I developed this enormous appreciation for what is an incredible ecosystem here in Australia. I think I learn a lot from that experience. I learn a lot from really what are some of the smartest people in the country. And you have exposure to all of the public and private industry in this country. So not just the startup ecosystem, but the heads of the banks or the heads of our mining companies, whatever they might be, those industry bodies. And I think that you can kind of blend these worlds together, and there is a lot that we can learn from each other in that sense. And you're right, we've got to work together to push this country forward.
And now that you're working on a startup, congratulations.
Thank you.
An
Cheers.
AI one,
yeah.
Which is a smart move, by the way.
Thank you. I thought so too. That's good.
Are you learning, what have you learned from the government that you're implementing to your role here?
Look, I think patience is probably a really interesting one. I love the speed of execution when it comes to we're a very large startup, but
How many people?
We have, I think, about 750 staff in the company now. So it's
a lot. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a big company in that sense, but we just fly a little bit below the radar. I'm probably not helping doing all these interviews, but so it's a little bit bigger in that sense. But in government, there is always a process to follow. There's a bureaucracy that you deal with, and I think that one teaches you some patience, but it also teaches you a way to navigate a system to get things done, and to be able to take that across to the private sector, I think does have some value, and the ability to basically get things done in a difficult bureaucratic environment means in the startup world you can really accelerate things because a lot of those barriers are removed.
Well, in the startup world, there's a lack of patience, right? I want this
Exactly.
now, or I want to grow now, or I want this product to market now. So there's a real contrast there.
Absolutely, and I'm naturally an impatient person. So as I said, I feel like I've lost my chains now, and I can go out there and get stuff done. So
Spreading your wings.
Exactly.
Plus, you just came back from a massive travel experience. How did that help you?
I think it was great. It just, I needed a holiday, to be honest. I mean, beating up on politicians is kind of a national sport, but it's not the easiest job in the world, to be honest. And
would you go back into politics?
I mean, you never say never, but I'm having a lot of fun at the moment, I can
That's
tell
a
you.
diplomatic answer, by the way. That's
You do. You never say never.
Yeah, you never say never, but at the moment, I'm not too disappointed I'm not there, put it that way. But the holiday was great. I mean, I could just enjoy life. Part of it was for about a month riding motorbikes with a mate in South America, and to turn off the phone, not have to think about the outside world. It's just...
Yeah,
it's
I heard the
amazing.
papers couldn't find you, so they
Yeah,
were
was
like,
nice.
where is he? Where's he gone?
And the great thing is, I didn't have to worry about the papers finding me. I mean, that's not the world that I live in anymore. So, it's a really, really good grounding experience for someone to go through, I think.
And you weren't crying in your cereal, you know, you were actually having a really good time.
I did, and there's no way I could have done that if I was still in Parliament. I mean, just one, taking that time, two, going to the places I went to. I mean, you just could not do that as a Member of Parliament.
And what are you focusing on? What are your big plans for Affinity now?
So Affinity is, as I said, this incredible company. It's in a number of countries across the world. Our clients are the largest banks, telcos, insurance companies, and I'm growing that presence here in Australia, which I think is really exciting. One, dealing with the corporate side of the ledger here, but also developing a tech AI, a big data team here in this country. Is hugely exciting, and we have such talented people who can be part of that, and what a good story.
I'd be interested in how you go deal with the internet infrastructure and the data cloud that doesn't exist in Australia at the moment.
Yeah, we're in countries like Pakistan, for example, which are at a much lower bar than where we are. In some states in the US, are nowhere near as good as we are. So I think where we are is middle of the range sort of area, and that's not a bad thing.
Being that you're such a global company, what can Australia offer?
Look, I think Australia has enormous benefits to offer. One really big benefit is talent retention. When you're competing, say, with San Francisco in the States or Tel Aviv in Israel, it's really, really hard to retain good staff. But here, one, we're a lifestyle superpower. People want to live here. I cannot tell you, since we set up the Australia office, how many people internally have said, can I move to Australia?
Brilliant.
Which is awesome. I'm very happy about that.
It's all about the lifestyle. Everyone has this,
Massively.
like the sun, the beach.
Yeah.
You're a tourism company now.
Effectively, yeah. I've got Lara Bingle. She's coming in. We're recruiting. No, I'm joking. That's so good truth. I love that. Yeah. No. But I do think there is something to this lifestyle superpower. Our cost of living is a lot cheaper than, say, our office in Hong Kong or Singapore or in the States for that matter. So I think that there's really something we can deliver there. And we just have a lot of really bright, talented people. I think we underestimate the quality of the talent that we develop here and the quality of our higher education institutions.
That's amazing. I think we should wrap it up. Is there any final thoughts about Affinity?
No, I just think it's very exciting to be part of this, and what we can offer Australia is a great opportunity. But more generally, I think what an exciting time to be involved in the Australian innovation ecosystem. We've got an enormous amount to offer the world.
Yeah, brilliant. So we're going to do a little dance to close it out.
Yeah, let's do it, Dan.
Cool. Thanks, guys.